Welcome to Autism at Home. My name is Stephanie Wan, and I'm a clinical supervisor with Early Autism Project Malaysia. You might have already seen me in some of the videos already on Autism at Home, like pop quiz sections and role-play demonstrations. This lesson series is called Preparing Teaching Materials. If you watched our 5 series Start to Kid already, you'll notice that we talk a lot about visuals in those lessons, like visual schedules, social stories, and video models. A lot of families that we work with often ask us, what do I need to prepare my own materials at home? Should I get a printer? What kind? Should I get a laminator? Well, that's what this topic series is all about. Just like a school teacher who prepares materials for class, if you plan to teach your child at home, we certainly do encourage families, if they're able to purchase some stationery and equipment so that you can create your own materials for your child, individualized to their needs. You'll likely be using them for a long time, so it's a worthy investment. Of course, if you'd rather just get things printed in a shop or do it some other way, that's completely fine too. Whatever is most convenient for you and within your resources. So in this first video, we're going to talk about some recommended equipment that we regularly use at EAP for creating teaching materials. Then, the next few lessons will focus on how to create common learning items, especially visuals, social stories, and video models. And in the last lesson, we'll do a crash course in how to track your child's progress, so you have a way of systematically knowing when they're ready to move on to the next step in their learning goals. So let's get started. Here are some equipment we commonly use for preparing materials. A computer or laptop for creating any soft copy images like visuals, social stories, and calendars. A printer. A double-sided color printer is ideal as color pictures are vibrant and easier to distinguish apart, especially if your child will be heavily reliant on pictures for areas like communication and understanding routines. On top of that, the double-sided printing will save you paper. If a color printer isn't an option, a black and white printer should work too. You may also need a laminating machine and lamination paper. Many visuals are created with the intention of using them frequently and for a long time. And if a child is going to be using them, it's worthwhile giving them a boost of protection by laminating them so it saves you the trouble of remaking visuals. Common examples of materials that benefit from lamination include requesting visuals, visual routines, and rule cards. So you've got a computer, printer, and laminator. Now we need a durable way to store the visuals you make. A material commonly used for this is hook and loop fasteners, commonly known as Velcro, especially for the kind of visuals that need to be removed and reattached frequently, such as using pictures for requesting or rearranging pictures on a calendar. Velcro can usually be bought at all-purpose online shopping sites like Amazon or Lazada in Malaysia. Do try to get the ones with adhesive tape attached because those will be very strong. Alternative methods for Velcro include using blue tack or tack it, but watch out and be sure your child is not likely to fiddle with it or put it in their mouths. Finally, if you've got the Velcro or blue tack on for a visual, you need a surface or home where the visuals are going to live. We find any sort of waterproof and durable board works well for purposes like this, like corrugated plastic board. Basically, plastic versions of cardboard, but they're durable, waterproof, and can be easily found in art or stationery stores. These are what allow you to make these. In addition to all that, and this one's a bit of an optional one, but a useful time saver. Corner cutters. Laminated visuals tend to be very sharp on the corners, and your child's safety should come first. A corner cutter saves loads of time, especially if you've got a lot of visuals to make. Otherwise, using a pair of scissors to dull the edges works too. Finally, your last bit of essential equipment. A timer, or even timers in the plural around different parts of your house. Timers give visual predictability on when something will happen and what will happen next. And it's actually part of strategy number 1 for teaching cooperation to a child with autism. A timer like this can be easily purchased online or at your local DIY shops. These are preferable to a phone because they're straightforward and it avoids temptation for any child that might want to play with the phone. And of course, in addition to all this equipment, you will have your usual stationery like scissors, tape, pens, markers, glue, whatever suits what you're making best. So that's it, a list of home equipment to get you and your child started on their learning journey. Now, if getting any of these materials is difficult for you due to your resources or availability in your city, remember there are plenty of DIY or budget options out there, not forgetting all the digital versions as well. There are several digital options and apps out there that are very useful, like virtual token boards, visual schedules, and social stories. Or you could have a go at drawing your own visuals for the house if printing is difficult to come by. You could even have a store of recyclable materials in your home like cardboard, scrap paper, and plastic bottles. These are great for art and craft activities, fine motor, or attention tasks. Most of all, be creative. In the next few lessons, although we will show you some classic ways to make visuals, there is no one right way to make them. Find a balance between what you can realistically do with your time and money, as well as what works best for your child. Remember that autism is a spectrum. What works for one child does not necessarily work for another child. For example, if you have a child who really likes looking at reflective surfaces, laminated pictures may not be the best option. Instead, you could stick a printed picture on top of a thick piece of cardboard. Or if you have a child who likes to put non-edibles like blue tack in their mouth, then it would probably not be a good idea to have any materials made with that. Now, it's your turn. Looking at this list, take some time to check if you have all the equipment you need for the home. Get yourself well and prepared before we get into how to start using them. You can download a list of useful equipment and apps in our corresponding Autism at Home article. Thanks for watching today. In the next lessons, we'll look at how to make effective visuals, social stories, video models, and finally end with how to track your child's progress at home. And finally, remember that with autism, there is no one magic technique, or in this case, visual or social story that's going to teach your child a desired behavior. These lessons will teach you how to prepare teaching materials, which will break the skill down. But the materials are only effective when paired with strong reinforcement and plenty of practice. With that, we'll see you in the next videos.